Satnam! I am so excited to be doing this audio for you. What I'm coming with is the wisdom of this day and the solar eclipse and the new moon in Scorpio. This is about, so the new moon in Scorpio is at 2 degrees. 2 degrees is the Cancerian, it's a Cancerian degree, which means our feelings are being amplified. Scorpio's already super feeling, so your intuition and your feelings are off the charts. That also means, though, we can get overly sensitive, obviously. We can get our feelings hurt. We can make mountains out of molehills and all of that. But this is what astrology is for you. It is healing. It's a guidepost. It's the help. Like, okay, today I might be overly emotional. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be that emotion. I do. I just don't want it to carry me away. I want to be aware. I want to be present. What am I really trying to learn from my feelings here? The thing with this new moon is it's about having difficult conversations. Difficult conversations around relationships. It's about making difficult decisions. And I had this total princess queen on my lap, Anna Bear. And some of you are probably sick and tired of me talking about Anna. So I am a feline lover. I've been like this since I was a little girl. And there's actually a very emotional component to it. When I was a little girl, I was 4 years old. My mom and my brother and I lived in this apartment off of Idaho Street in downtown San Diego. And I wanted a kitty for Christmas. And my mom said, don't ask Santa Claus for a kitty because even if he brings you one, I have to take it back. We cannot have cats at this apartment, blah, blah. I mean, my mom sold it. She was like, this is it. So we were Catholic. And so on Christmas Eve, we went to church. When we came home, there was this box in front of our door. And inside this white box, and there was a letter on top. And inside the box, you could hear this meow, meow, meow. And there was a tiny little kitty. And that kitty was my first Fluffy. I would end up to have 3 Fluffies in my childhood. So Fluffy was in that box. And it was a miracle to me because my mom was like God. I mean, my mom called all the shots. And if my mom said, you can't have a cat, then Santa Claus ain't bringing a cat. And then here came this kitten. As I have healed and done a lot of work on myself, I've come to this realization. My mom was a single parent at this time. She was working at the bank. She was working at a liquor store to make extra money. And she was also going to school to be an escrow officer because she wanted to have a higher ranking and better job at Union Bank. In the end, my mom would end up to be the vice president of Union Bank, at least that status. She was the vice president of escrow in the end. So anyway, the point is she was very, very driven to not just to be more for herself, but to give her children what she didn't have. My mom had a really tragic, hard childhood. And she was determined that my brother and I would have more security, more opportunity. And my mom alone did that. There were men in our lives, my brother's dad, obviously contributed some, but they didn't stay together. My dad was somebody she had an affair with. My adopted dad was somebody that she partnered with. But my mom was always the thing. My mom was the strength. And the reason I bring this up is because this cat was not just a cat for me. She was really busy and gone. And even if she didn't understand that, what was really happening is my mom was giving me something that I could have affection from and connection to and security with because she wasn't going to be there. And that's what cats ended up to be for me. They were this feminine, I always had female cats and they were this feminine, witchy, supportive, lovely energy that instead of having my mom, I had this cat. Okay, so in my life, I've gone through lots of different things around this and really needing to have a cat in my life. One of the loves of my life, her name was Fancy. Fancy lived to be 18 years old. Fancy and Frank. I had not had a female cat. I had 2 boy cats. Tony, he's so cute. Tony ended up to be my cat savior. Like, he would find me cats. And I remember looking at him when we had our boy black cats. One of my friends took Purda. I'm sorry, we kept Purda. They took Purdy. And I looked at him one day and I said, I have to have a female cat. I need a female. Well, he's out there cleaning a carpet one day and there was a litter of feral cats in their garage. And so, I taught him how to know a male from a female. And anyways, he knows that one of them is a female. Actually, 2 of them were females, 2 were males. But he said, baby, we can't just leave these feral cats. We need to take all of them. And so we did. We took the whole litter. We found homes for them. I was only going to keep one of the females. But of course, Tony fell in love with one of the males, and his name was Frank. We named him Frank because he had these big blue eyes, and we named him after Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra. Where am I going with this? So the relationship that I am having to change and upgrade is my relationship with Anna and Sven. Here's what I mean. I've never declawed my cats, although I've wanted to because they fuck up all my furniture. But I knew it's like taking off their fingers. And I love them. I'm not going to take their fingers off. Okay. But I did start keeping them in the house always because when I moved to where I am now, it's like in like a record time, I lost 2 cats from cars being ran over and 2 cats from coyotes. I mean, it was like, oh my God, so much tragedy. It was, Well, Anna, the cat I have right now, she's had a really life-threatening disease and she's kind of in remission. She's made it through it. But beyond that, Anna's been depressed. And I'm so grateful I have the vet I do. Because I've had vets that are so like conservative and like, you need to keep them in, you need to keep them away from everything, otherwise they're going to die. My vet's not like that. And my vet said to me, cats are the only domestic animal that never completely domesticates. They're wild. She's depressed because she wants to go outside. And I had to come to terms with, am I willing for me to risk her life and let her be happy? Or is it more important for me to just keep her alive and keep her with me? And either way is fine, but what's the truth? And this Scorpio moon has been very revealing that I'm maturing. Of course I want Anna and Sven to be with me forever, but not at the cost of their happiness. And even though these are cats I'm talking about, to me these are my children. They're my family. I could just as much be saying this about Tony, and in fact I can. We got in a big thing about him and his injuries in his shoulders. And I tried to do I'm going to pull if you love me, you're going to stop playing baseball card. And I'll never forget, this is about 2 months ago. And he looked at me, he had tears in his eyes, and he said, you really want to do that? It's not that I'm choosing baseball over you, but I'm not going to let you make me choose. I keep baseball because I love it. And if you don't love me enough to let me run its course, so be it. I mean, those are the words that I think Anna and Sven wish they could say to me. Mommy, you got to trust life. It's more important for us to be happy. And I'm going to tell you this. They listen to me now outside. They come to me. They let me pet them outside. They never used to do that. They are more affectionate. Anna would never sleep with us at night. And she's like my girl. Nope, she wouldn't. Sven would, but not her. She's sleeping in bed between Tony and I. She is happy because she's what? Free. She is free. She is liberated. And this Scorpion moon is about liberation in our relationships. It should not be a requirement that I have to give something up to be loved by you. That's really what's on offer. Do you have relationships that you're having to give something up to be loved? That's the thing. So with this amazing, solar eclipse, so the solar, so the sun gets eclipsed. It is a reboot in our life. It is a reboot of our energy. It is we get to start over. Eclipse season is always a highly transformative time. You think of them as portals that fast track your soul to the next chapter. It's about our evolution, and it's about life-changing energies that come into our field very quick and change everything. All eclipses will affect us differently. Some may feel intense while others are barely noticed. So that has to do with your chart. So right now, the eclipse season is in Scorpio and Taurus. Taurus being the north node, Scorpio being the south. South node, Scorpio is about having discipline and boundaries around our minds and our feelings so that we can have the gift of Taurus, treasuring ourselves, valuing ourselves, and receiving the love we actually have desired and wanted. Like, I want this love from Anna, but I had to have the discipline to trust God and let her be free. It wasn't real love if it required her to be in jail. Are you jailing yourself? Are you jailing others in order to have a relationship? That could be what's coming up. In this final eclipse season for 2022, we have two eclipses. The solar new moon eclipse is today, and a total lunar blood moon eclipse is on November 8th. These eclipses are working in connection with other eclipses that we had earlier in April and May. We may notice the themes returning from these times, and we may notice that the story unfolds and gives us more information on what is up for our healing, our awareness, and our transformation. What a magical time. Plus, we have the Venus point star, energetic. Venus is kissing the sun. She will reappear as an evening star. And when she's an evening star, we will be working on our inner world. And we'll talk more about that. All of this is the week that is preceding Samhain celebration. At GDF, we are going to come together on Friday and have Samhain. I have gifts for you. Mahansat City, Susan and I are going to be leading this amazing night with you. We're going to call in the directions. We're going to bring in the blessings. In your gift bags, you're going to have an obsidian crystal, which is very good for protection and amping up your intuition. You're going to also have frankincense and myrrh incense. You're going to have a pink Himalayan bath salts. And you're also going to have a basil holy rose tea to drink. And, like maybe you can go home and have a bath after ceremony and drink this tea. And inside your bag, each of you are getting a message from the other side of the veil. I started thinking about this and all this, this is how we are at GDF. As soon as I put it out to your guides and angels and ancestors, okay, I think you should give them messages. All of a sudden, I'm getting these really big, very direct messages. And I'm thinking about all you women that I know, and I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if this is for her. Is this for Holly? Is this for Natalie? It's like, wow. So amazing. So these messages are going to be in your gift bags. This is a potent time for GDF. It is a potent time for the goddess, and I'm so grateful to be with you. Happy new moon. Happy solar eclipses. Take time to do an extra long sadhana tonight. Be with yourself, love the one you're with, and I will see you on Friday. Sign up, save your spot. I think we can safely have 20 women in circle. So make sure you save your spot, and I will see you then. I love you so much. Sat Nam.